two personalities.
I asked you that. How do you avoid it being the last go-around seniors and the pressure that comes with that when this part of the year rolls around?
I think you talk about it. It's the reality, so I think, we have a backboard that we go through the season. We have a first half and a second half, and then you have your postseason part. So second half is done, you wipe it clean, and now it's, survive and advance, So I think that's just something we talk about, and, just the biggest thing is don't play for, losing the game. Like, just go out and just lay it all on the line and, win the weekend, win the moments. And so the thing to me is most people don't understand what it's like to be a senior and knowing that you could be playing your last game. So I think a lot of times, like, you've got to have these good relationships to be like, hey, don't go there, because they can definitely get, especially 9 of them, right, like feeling it. But, you can't understand as a freshman, sophomore, or junior what that feels like because you've never been there before. So I just think talk about it. We bring a lot of that stuff up when we talk about it.
When you know your first opponent, you're unsure who your next opponent will be. How does that set up your pitching?
I think you're set up for every situation, but I think the other part is it's 3 good teams. At this point in the time of year, you got to, face good teams and beat good teams. And our pitching staff has been primed to do that with the conference that we're in and the schedule that we've played. And they've all been in different roles. So I think they're all prepared for it. The defense knows what they do and how they do it. So I think, we've done a really good job of that this year. So I think we're fully prepared. We've prepped for everyone. We know what they have. And now it's, you go out and who you're facing, and then you put that plan together. Yeah.
So, Coach, Issa Torres was a top 10 finalist for Player of the Year. I guess that just came out. We all know that she's got the big numbers and everything, so we can see that's probably the biggest reason why she's that. But as a coach, where have you seen her biggest growth from last year to this year, do you think? You see her every day.
Yeah, I just think that last year's conversations and just, she has an older sister that played the game, and, it's tough. I think a lot of fans come out here and you see you compete, but there's so much more to it, from the lifting to the running to the start in September to the nutrition to the how do you just handle the daily life of being an athlete. And, I think the experience they all got their freshman year, for her to raise her bar of skills to be better, but also to understand that what she learned from her sister going through it is just really loving playing the game and having joy in it. So I think that I'm most proud of Issa is keeping that competitive high level softball skill, but she's a joy on the field all the time, and she brings such a light. And the minute you see her getting frustrated, she bounces out of it quite quickly, and you can have those talks with her as a sophomore, and usually that's kind of a junior senior mindset. So I think she's taken in what her family has given her of information, and she's really stuck to I want to love playing the game and love playing it for my team, and has kept that as number one, but has fine-tuned her skills to be great at shortstop and hitting and making adjustments and leading us off and all the tough things to do when you're that level of a player.
This group's maturity, synergy, all those cliche words we talk about, how much does it put you at ease going into the postseason? Now they're kind of built for what they're getting into.
Yeah, I think, again, we have real talks with our team, and that was one of them today is, sometimes what your greatest strength is can be your weakness also. And, our team at this point in the year, especially the seniors, this point, they want to produce so badly for the team because they love the team and we have good synergy. But at this point in the year, you need to do what the game requires you to do. And if you really try to worry about the outcome for the team, you're going to be the lesser version of yourself. So can we balance that? Is the kumbaya too much? Can we pull it down and go compete? And can we balance that? So again, I think those are just talks. We are a strong unit. We're a culture-based program. But yeah, you've got to go win, right? Transaction plays right now. And we've got to win, and we got to figure out how to win the moments and keep people in the moments. So I think that's a lot of conversations that we have.
Not sure if it really bothers you that much, but being the only non-SEC team to be in the top 10, just what do you take from that, being how the SEC is heavy, but you're being the top 5 and still getting that home field despite the SEC around them?
Yeah, no, it doesn't bother me at all. It makes me proud. I think that, we've had to fight to get respect early on. And now you look at what our conference is doing and how many teams are in postseason and the RPI we've had as a conference. So whether we kick down the door in the beginning to show that you can do it in the ACC, there is following right now and support and administration. And, we're coming along, and, it's not like the ACC stepchild anymore. We're stepping in there. So I think we have great teams, but we had to earn that respect, and I think that for where the game of softball is going to go, it's not all about the SEC. It's about every conference and every opportunity in the country. And I think that's a flag we planted in Oklahoma City to let people know that softball can be played at anywhere and you can get to Oklahoma City from there. So very proud of it. We've earned it. It was a schedule that we set from the beginning. So not even the ACC set us up, as all the teams that we played before that. We were road warriors this year. So we set out for this and we've earned it. And now, let's go out and play the game that we know how to play.
Can you just speak a little bit on the 3 other teams, starting with Robert Morris, your first opponent, and Auburn and USF?
Yeah, I'm just going to say the game itself has changed so much. So maybe a mid-major before it came in and you kind of think it was going to be an easy game, and that's not the way it is anymore. And so, taking every opponent, with respect and not taking them lightly is huge. And they swing the bats and they got good pitching. And, so it's your step to get out there and get after pitch 1 to game 1. I think USF has had a very good season. They play a different kind of ball and they're just all into it. They are scrappy, they're passionate, they have some really good pitchers that hit their spots and locate well, and they own what they do. And, they don't try to be something different. I think when you get to that time of year, those teams are dangerous because they do what they do. And I think Kenny and those guys, Lisa, did a good job with that. And then, Auburn's battle tested, so anyone you're going to get out of the SEC is battle tested. They're a strong conference and it's literally not flowing below 500 to get into postseason. And so I know that they're okay. They've had a lot of come from behind wins. They stay in it. They battle too. They're also a pitching staff that pitches by committee and really locates pitches really well. So we've got to be very disciplined, which I know we do a good job of that, but we've got to stay into our disciplines on that side of it. So, and then they got, some big swings and new coaching staff there. So we played them in the fall and they're a different team now. And I think they did a good job this year of growing through the season. And that's, I think something we pride ourselves into. So I know that they're going to bring a little experience on that side, but yeah.
They have a co-head
coaches.
There you go. Yeah, co-head coach situation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How common is that? I'm just not familiar with it.
Yeah. It's probably, there's obviously coaches that do it, but even if you're not a co-head coach, the games now, you're 60 games a season, you're going all the time. Troy's out here with his daughter right now and Lauren's right there with him, so it's the families are part of our family, so I think it's super cool on their side that they're able to balance that. They're kind of coaching together at Tennessee, but now they are owning the coaching together, and I think they've done a great job and they're good people. And so softball's life, sports life for you guys, right? You just love it. So when you're all in, I think as long as you can keep the mindset of what happens on the field stays on the field, it's probably the biggest part, because your kids are going to feel that, right? Mm-hmm. Not only your kids, but your player kids too are going to feel that. And so I think that staff is really good about family oriented, and they just do a good job of that. So, and I've seen the change in their team for sure. Yeah.
No, we haven't really asked you this for a while, but how are you feeling now with your treatment and just battling that now and going with the postseason as well? How are you doing now as far as managing both of them?
Yeah, it's every week, so it's kind of the same routine every week for me, so I know what to expect when I'm not feeling as sharp, or what kind of sleep I need to get myself ready for the weekend. So I'm kind of grateful for the every week. I finished 9 of 12, so on my first half, I'll get 10 next week, so I'm literally seeing the light at the end of the tunnel of my first round before I jump into my second round. But I just go back to you saw at the ACC tournament, the stickers, it's just hard to have a bad day when everyone's in your corner, so the minute you kind of feeling a little bit oh man, I don't have the energy, and then someone walks by and they say a word or they send something and it just lifts you up. So I'm living the human kindness right now, and that's really keeping me, going, and the team has been an absolute rock for the whole thing. So yeah, and again, great distraction to have. We set out to be a host and be a top 8 seed, and we are, and I've got to stay the course because they're staying the course, and it's been super cool on that side.
Kind of following up on that, the t-shirts, I know that Garnet and Gold's been selling with the pink FS and with your logo with the ribbon on it. Just from your perspective, how did that come to be, and to see how many folks have responded to it, and see how many folks have wanted to rally behind you? I didn't even know what platform this would go, and when Lindsay Leftwich from NC State made the logo, and the logo just started showing up a day later after I made the announcement, and it just embraced community, and then I just started hearing the story. So it wasn't so much maybe about, it was my logo, but it was just representing so many people that are going through the fight, and I think to me, I just really
resonated with that, you know? And so then the opportunity to fundraise money for TMH, you know, became just really big to me, because all of a sudden teams are wearing shirts, and JUCOs, people I don't even know are wearing shirts out to a day, and they're, you know, we're doing this for Lonni, but we're doing it for breast cancer. We're doing it for cancer patients. We're doing this for people that are going through the fight. You don't fight alone. And I just really I've appreciated that we're bringing kind of a mindset to something I'm going through, but so many more people are going through right now. You know, and I think we're up to like $15,000 right now. So with me and my ability to match that, that's going to be a huge contribution to people that can't get to chemo or can't do things. Like, so now this situation is helping others, you know, and they don't have that platform. So so it's taken on a bigger role, but I'm very grateful for it. And the amount of people I don't even know that are supporting it is just so cool. So you know, it's the first time you see someone wearing something, you don't know them, and you're like, that's weird. And then you start to be like, wow, that's so cool that you see that this pink represents something, and we're representing a fight, and we're representing something for so many. So I've just really, really appreciated that. And, you know, still going, right? Like, still going. It's, I get cards and gifts and email every single day of stories, and I'm just so thankful that I can connect with them and tell them that they're not in the fight alone, and I'm fighting with them. And it's not just breast cancer, it's colon cancer, leukemia, it's so many things. So there is just this whole nother world out there that we all, like, that's my big thing. I go in the morning, and there's 120 of us going through there from between 7 and 9, and we go into the world. So the minute you guys are in the world of coffee and someone's having a bad day, give a smile, because they could be going through something and we don't even know that, you know, and it could be the caretakers. And that's my perspective, that I've really just grown on this side of it. It's just, you don't know what people are going through, and if you can help, we're going to help. And I think that's what has given this opportunity. So, yeah. Yeah.
Coach, I want to ask you about Jason. So is she, how can you know, we know how talented she is.
Yeah.
But what can you do to kind of help her get out of her little slump that she's in,
Yeah.
you know, before, and can she reset? Because this would be a good opportunity for that, with kind of like a week off.
Yeah. I mean, I think when you see the season that Jay had last year, like an incredible season, and then she's having a season of trying to figure out how to duplicate that or be normal or do some things. So to me, she's in one of the best positions, because now you can reset and figure out how you want to do things next year. Right. She's still contributing to the team. She's still present. She's still doing great things for us. So to me, like, it's not about what's ahead. It's just about what's right now. So right now, can she be present and keep working? We all know there's things in her to do, but like, I think like she's been present, hasn't shut down at all. So to me, there has been such growth in her, and I'm such a big fan. And I know the fans, everyone wants her to do great, but the reality is every athlete goes through this. So you go through some sort of downtime, you go through some sort of questioning, and you have to do it to know your highs and lows. So I told her the other day, I'm like, this is so cool that like you're going through this right now and you're still present with us, because I know when you want to do it so badly and you're not coming through, but you're still staying for your team, that's such a good character mark, and you know, something that we're going to grow from. And could the growth be this weekend, or could the growth be next year? I don't know what's around the corner, but she is definitely staying in and fighting through it.
You know,